realization for most people is one of the hardest things in chess. Well, the thing is, when you're winning, you usually have a lot of different moves that win the game, you know? The defending side usually only has like one clear plan, to not lose. So it's actually easier for the defending side to find the only moves that he has than for us, the winning side, actually finding the best continuation possible to win the game, and it's really not hard to choose the wrong one. But okay, we'll go through this game and you'll see how to play these kinds of winning positions. So here, white played rook to b1. He was probably trying to just take this pawn and didn't want to run into something like rook to b8 and taking the pawn on b2. But okay, I played rook to b8 here. He played queen to d1 and I played b5. We of course want to expand on this side of the board. We want to play something like b4, open the files for our rooks here, where they could be, attacking the pawns or just being on the open files. So here a white played queen to e2, trying to basically exchange queens, because his king is also weak. Well, usually I would just move my queen away, but here I decided to just take the queen because I was sure I'm winning in this position. We're a pawn up, he has really bad pawns here, and we can, jump to some great squares with our knight, let's say to e5, or, just go to f4, and we will have a great outpost on squares like this. Okay, so here I decided to play rook to c8. Like I said, my plan is to play b4, open up the position and just crush him. So he played rook to g1, trying to get some activity, I don't know. I just played g6, stopping his rook from doing anything, and also his bishop is now looking pretty dumb. Here he played h4, trying to, I don't know, do something, trying to play h5, but it doesn't really matter. I just played b4, he played king to d2, and I took the pawn, of course, creating him another weakness. And now, talking about pawn islands, guys, I have basically 2 pawn islands, as you can see, and he has 4 pawn islands, which is, of course, worse. He has a lot of isolated pawns, and they're going to be easier to attack than, the protected ones. So that's why this position is getting even better for us now. Okay, so here I saw that my knight actually isn't doing much. This pawn is kind of dominating my knight, so I want to put it to a better square. I played knight to d7 here, trying to go maybe to e5 or to c5. From e5 it would be very active. You can attack the bishop, attack this pawn also with a fork. So this stuff looks very nasty. He played h5 finally, and I just wasn't scared. I played knight to e5, threatening basically this fork. He played bishop to e2, and now I played king to g7, just preventing something like h6, which would be a little bit annoying. So I just played that, and now he took the pawn, I recaptured, and he played f4, attacking our knight. Alright guys, so here is another interesting moment, as we have a decision to make. Do we want to play knight to c4 and let him go into the rook endgame? Or do we want to move our knight somewhere else and keep playing the position with knights and bishops on the board? Well, usually you should be careful when going into the rook endgames because there a lot of times turn out to be a draw. But here I was confident that I can win even in the rook endgame, so that's why I played knight to c4 check. And after he took my knight, I of course first took the rook because otherwise my rook just hangs. This certainly wouldn't be great. So that's why I just took the rook, he recaptured, and I took the bishop back. Now you can clearly see why this position should be winning for black. All his pawns are falling. I mean, I will play rook to a4, also attacking this pawn. And my pawns are just great here. I will just move my king up the board and just attack these pawns, and they're probably all going to fall. So here he played rook to b7. And now guys, when we're talking about realizing your advantage, you usually have to be a bit patient. If you wanted to take this pawn immediately here on f4, this wouldn't be such a great idea because he can, take your pawn here on a2. I mean, you're still winning because you also get this pawn and you're gonna run up with this pawn, but why would you give him a best pawn, when you can just simply play rook to a4, attacking this pawn, protecting your pawn, and now he has to move all the way back, and only now you can take on f4, and he won't win your pawn here on a7. Isn't this better? Well, to me, it is. So here white played queen, king to e3, and I moved back, keeping pressure on this pawn, not allowing his rook to move anywhere. So here he played king to d3, I just activated my king as you should in the endgame. I played rook to a3 here, basically not allowing him to play king to b3, because now after rook to a3, what can he do? I mean, he can't move his rook because this pawn falls, and he just moved back to d3. I played e5 now. You can clearly see the threat of d4, you know, pinning this pawn and then just winning it. Of course, something like this would just be great for us because, you know, we can go into the pawn endgame because we're 2 pawns up, basically. So he played, what did he play? He played king to d2. I played king to f5, just activating again. He played king to c1. I just went closer with the king, of course. He played rook to d2 check, and I played king to c4. I'm gonna win this pawn now with the rook, and there's nothing he can do. I took the pawn, he took this, but I just took the rook as I'm 2 pawns up. After king to c5, he simply resigned the game as there's nothing he can do. So basically, when you're in a better position, guys, and you want to realize, convert your advantage, whatever, you have to be a bit careful. You have to play a bit slowly and not allow your opponent to get any counter chances. And just don't make his life easy, you know? Because it's also going to be harder for him not to make any mistakes if you do that. So guys, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, share it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.